Hello and welcome inside the Sullivan Center, the home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints basketball squad, who today takes on St Ambrose in a CCAC matchup. The final regular season home game this season for the Fighting Saints. Terry Bonadonna with you for the ride over the next couple of hours as the Saints try to pick up another victory. They have been red hot. They come into play today with an overall record of 14-10, 12-6 in conference action. That includes 3 consecutive wins. 3 consecutive overall wins, 2 in a row in conference. E.J. Charles and Andrew Morrissey on the opening tip. It's won by St. Ambrose. The Fighting Bees are in navy blue. They go from left to right during today's game. Fighting Saints are in white, their home uniforms. They go from right to left. Tough year so far for St. Ambrose, but a good start to this game. Ignacio Dacunda, the freshman from Argentina, gets the scoring started with a 3-pointer. Will Spriggs, Jake Friel, and Dacunda are the 3 guards. There's a steal for Dacunda. He pulls up in the lane, and he's got 5. Good start for St. Ambrose and for Dacunda. The forwards for the Fighting Bees today are Max Steiner and Andrew Morrissey. St. Francis has Darius Wright and Nadav Gerner in the backcourt, with the front court of E.J. Charles, Aitor Anabararte, and Kazmir Ochiaka making his first start of the year, replacing the injured Carter Fahey, who went out hurt in Saturday's game against East-West University and will not play today. Kazmir Ochiaka outside to Aitor Anabararte, 10 on the shot clock. Ochiaka at the free throw line, gives it up to Nadav Gerner. Gerner drives to the left hand, pull up in the lane, good pass to Anabararte, and he lays it in with the right hand. Up and in for the first points of the game for St. Francis. Anabararte is the leading scorer this year for St. Francis, averaging 17 points per game, including 31 on Saturday against East-West. He'll be probably given a little bit more responsibility with Carter Fahey out. Andrew Morrissey spots up for 3 and misses, but the rebound goes to Jake Friel. 3-pointer Will Spriggs, too strong. Long rebound towards the sideline. Good save by Morrissey. Kept alive for St. Ambrose, and Dacunda misses a 3. So they go 0 for 3 on the possession, and finally E.J. Charles clears it for the Fighting Saints. Here's Charles down low, fighting for positioning, and he scores over Max Steiner. Charles has his first points. The Saints have scored the last 4, and they've pulled within 1. Here's Jake Friel on the wing, guarded by Gerner. Looking for help, finally starts the dribble himself. 12 to shoot for St. Ambrose. Friel shovels it out to Steiner, make that Morrissey. Now Spriggs. Spriggs' pull up is good from about 13 feet out. Nice shot, Will Spriggs. And then St. Ambrose extends their early lead to 3. St. Ambrose comes into play today with an overall record of 4-19. They're 3-15 in conference play as Darius Wright misses the 3 and Friel grabs the rebound. The Bees have lost 3 in a row. They've dropped 11 of their last 12 games. And during their current 3-game losing streak, they've allowed an average of 91 points per game. So they've struggled on the defensive end as Spriggs misses the 3-pointer and St. Francis grabs the rebound. Ochiaka touches it at the top of the key. Hand off to Charles. He fires a 3 and ties the score. 7-all on the E.J. Charles 3-pointer. E.J. Charles came into play tonight shooting 27% from 3-point range. He attempts about 3 of them per game. Friel makes his way down to the baseline, pulls back outside. This is Dacunda. Ignacio Dacunda drives around Charles and throws it right into the hands of Nadav Gerner. Gerner loses his footing and gives the ball up to Darius Wright. He keeps the possession alive. Dacunda on the other end got a little bit too fancy with the behind-the-back pass, an easy interception. Darius Wright for 3, can't give the Saints their first lead of the game. Fighting Saints seem to have a good fast break opportunity, but it looked like the ball just kind of slipped out of the hands of Nadav Gerner. He kept possession, but it cost him the break. Steiner to Dacunda, another 3-pointer. Good. Second of the game for Ignacio Dacunda. He's already got 8 points. An impressive freshman guard from South America. Ignacio Dacunda came into play today, averaging 7 points per game. He has surpassed that in just over 4 minutes today. Spriggs knocks the ball loose, and Darius Wright chases it into the backcourt. Possession kept alive for St. Francis, 10 to shoot. Ochiaka up to Wright. Darius Wright from the top of the key, knocks down the deuce and pulls the Saints to within a point. Five minutes have just about gone by in this game. St. Ambrose leads by 1. Dacunda slices to the basket and misses the layup, and Ochiaka grabs the rebound. Ignacio Dacunda has been extremely aggressive to start today's game out. He's already attempted 5 shots. He's made 3 of them. Three-pointer from the corner. That's 2 threes in the game for E.J. Charles. He's been aggressive in the game, and rightfully so for the Fighting Saints. He's got 8 points now to match up with Dacunda for a game high, and St. Francis for the first time today is in the lead. Jake Friel drives, loses the handle on it, and Darius Wright picks up the loose ball. Wright all the way in, off the glass, no. There's the follow from Aitor Anabadarte. Anabadarte's got 4. St. Francis's lead is 4. 7-0 run for the Fighting Saints. Here's Friel backing it up. He passes off to his left. Morrissey down into the post. Dacunda, turnaround. He's fouled. They're going to count the shot or not? I think not. At least I didn't see the signal. Nope, they are giving him credit for the shot. The foul did seem to be in the act of shooting, but I thought that had not been the initial signal, but it is 10 points already in the game now for Dacunda, and a free throw coming up as Ryan Marks goes to his bench and brings in Ben Kreitz and Ibrahim Mobayed. Dacunda's a 59% foul shooter. And he hits the shot here. 11 points already for Dacunda. St. Ambrose is within a point. Nadav Gerner gives it up to Mobayed. Back over to Gerner. Darius Wright works his way back to the midcourt logo. Now starts to drive with the right hand. Pull up off the backboard with the right hand. Misses. Grant Mason was there with the defense. And St. Ambrose can reclaim the lead here. Grant Mason, also Kieran Farrell in the game right now for St. Ambrose. Dacunda gives it up down low to Morrissey, who lost it. He gets it back. Step back jumper is good. And the Bees are back in front. St. Francis took the lead with a 7-0 run. Now St. Ambrose has scored 5 in a row. Lewis McGlasson gets the touch for St. Francis. Gives it up to Wright. Down low, Ben Kreitz. Back out to Darius Wright. Wright, step back 3. Too strong. And the rebound results in a foul being called on St. Ambrose. Last home game of the season for St. Francis. They already had their senior day. It was 10 days ago. No, 11 days ago, February 4th. They were able to honor their 6 seniors, but today is their last game down on Pat Quigley Court, trying to go out strong. Darius Wright, one of those seniors, starts the walk to the left. Up to Lewis McGlasson, three-pointer, good. McGlasson hits his first shot of the game. And Lewis McGlasson puts St. Francis in front. We go back and forth here in the first half after a hot start for St. Ambrose. Morrissey backs in on Mobayed and lays it in with the left hand. Good, powerful offense from Andrew Morrissey. who is the team's leading scorer this season, averaging just over 13 points per game. Right around the Mobayed screen, kicks it out to Kreitz. Here's Phillips. Phillips crosses over to the left, passes back up top to Darius Wright. Into the corner, Justin Phillips' three is good. Phillips is on the board, Saints lead. And a foul is called with Grant Mason handling the ball outside. Ibrahim Mobayed is called for the foul. Nathan Moeller, junior forward, checks in for St. Ambrose and inbounds. Here's Mason. Mason drives on McGlasson. Can't get the roll off the glass, and the Saints clear it. Here's Mobayed, giving it up to McGlasson. Step back McGlasson. That's well short. I don't know if it was tipped or not. Mobayed played as though it was not, and he stepped on the baseline trying to save it. Darius Wright departs. Jake Carley is in. 5 subs on the floor now for St. Francis. Ray Shovlin, the St. Ambrose coach, goes back to his bench as well. Austin Bourne enters the game. And they've got 5 subs in now as well, including Jamon Thomas, who passed it off to Mason there. This is Bourne, turnaround jumper, well short. Mason saves it right to Thomas, and Thomas travels. St. Ambrose was in a pretty fortuitous situation there after an air ball. Saints wanted to let it go out. St. Ambrose saved it, and Thomas ended up with the ball surrounded by guys, but nobody directly in front of him. McGlasson steps into a three, misses it short. Didn't want to shoot there, but Kieran Farrell fell down. McGlasson was left wide open and decided to fire away, just missed it. The drive and the layup is good for Farrell. Kieran Farrell has his first points. St. Ambrose is down by just 1. Bounced into Jake Carley. Carley backs in. Turnaround for Carley, no good. And Mobayed is fouled. Going up for the rebound by Austin Bourne. Second foul on St. Ambrose, first on Bourne. Aitor Anabadarte checks back in for St. Francis. Saints starting center scored 4 before he departed. And he throws an interception here as Will Spriggs picks it off. Spriggs flying down the floor, gives it up to Mason. Mason misses the layup. An open layup there for Grant Mason, wasn't able to finish. Lewis McGlasson into the corner for Anabadarte. Aitor backs in on Austin Bourne. Now turns to face the basket. Drives into the paint. Turnaround is good and a foul. Aitor Anabadarte worked hard for that one. Shook off the contact, put the ball in, and now a chance to make it a 3-point play. Anabadarte, very good free throw shooter, 84% this season. And he makes this one as well. 23-19. St. Francis has their biggest lead today. Just past the midway point to the first half. Grant Mason circles, passes off to Farrell. And a moving screen is foul. Austin Bourne called for that one. Lewis McGlasson tried to get around him to keep pace with Kieran Farrell. I like the McGlasson-Farrell matchup just because it's so rare you see 2 residents of the United Kingdom going head-to-head. Basketball's not so big out there. But Lewis McGlasson, who hails from Stirling, Scotland, and has been going head-to-head with Kieran Farrell from London, England. Jake Carley, corner 3, no good. Rebound Spriggs. Across the timeline, Spriggs fires over to Grant Mason. Down to the cutting Nathan Moeller. Moeller backs in on Anabadarte and kicks it out to Farrell. Farrell drives on McGlasson, and Lewis McGlasson gives him a little bump. Foul called on St. Francis. That's the first on McGlasson, third foul on St. Francis today. Here's Friel. Off to Spriggs. Bounced into the post. Andrew Morrissey working against Anabadarte. Stripped and out of bounds. Who touched it last? St. Ambrose did. Deflected off the leg of Andrew Morrissey. So St. Francis forces the turnover. St. Ambrose has coughed it up 4 times in the game. Nearly taken away by Spriggs. Phillips keeps it alive. Over to Kreitz. 3-pointer short. The rebound goes to Morrissey. Close game early on. Teams have traded leads as Jake Carley is called for the 4th team foul against St. Francis. Number 1 on Carley. He reached in and grabbed an arm. Farrell to inbound. And an offensive foul called on Andrew Morrissey. Another turnover for St. Ambrose. Morrissey backed in elbows first on Aitor Anabadarte. So the foul is called before they can get the ball in. Morrissey now has committed 2 fouls in the first half. Carley up to Kreitz. Carley up to McGlasson. Four on the shot clock for Ben Kreitz. He fires the long 2, rolls out. Offensive rebound, Carley put back, no. Rebound bounces around, and this time Farrell comes away with it. Farrell, nice bounce pass ahead to Spriggs. Good fake from Spriggs, and he gets himself to the free throw line. Good little head fake there from Will Spriggs. Got a couple of guys in the air. Ben Kreitz is called for his first foul. Free throw rims out from Spriggs. One more coming. Will Spriggs averages 13 points per game. He's a 79% free throw shooter. Tops on the team. Spriggs moved into the starting lineup about halfway through this season. He's been very productive for Ray Shovlin's team. He's got 3 points now today, and he pulls the Bees to within a single possession. Rehana Maxwell-Topia on the floor for St. Francis. We'll see increased minutes with Carter Fahey out. Phillips stumbles and keeps the dribble alive as he passes back to Maxwell-Topia. 3-pointer is short. Offensive rebound, Anabadarte. He scores and a foul. Aitor Anabadarte picks up the rebound and at least 2 points. He's up to 9 already for the game. He and E.J. Charles have done the heavy lifting today for St. Francis. Charles has been on the bench for a while now, but scored 8 points on 3 of 3 shooting to start things out. He and Anabadarte have now combined on 18 of the team's 26, 13 minutes into the action. Here's Will Spriggs up top to Moeller. Moeller on the drive, a little bit too strong on the shot. We're going the other way. Rehana Maxwell-Topia fires down to the corner, out to Phillips. Phillips' pass is deflected and stolen by Spriggs. 2-on-2, Spriggs fouled from behind by Anabadarte, and he finishes at the rim as well. Good play by Will Spriggs, and a chance to add one more. E.J. Charles and Nadav Gurner come back in. Spriggs made 1 of 2 free throws just moments ago. Trying to make it 2 of 3 for the game. He connects, and it's a 3-point contest. 26-23. Just over 6.5 minutes to play in the first half. And a foul called on St Ambrose. It's number 6 on them, so they've hit their foul limit for the half. That one on Nathan Moeller. Check that. That's on Ignacio Dacunda. His first. E.J. Charles goes to the line. It was actually their 7th foul. I miscounted there. So this is past the limit. And E.J. Charles will get a 1-and-1. And he'll get the second one. 68% from the line this year. Charles has 9. He could become the second Saint in double figures if he makes this one. So 10 for him, 10 for Anabararte. 2 of them have done the lion's share of work so far. Ignacio Dacunda has 11 points already for St Ambrose. In fact, he scored 11 of their first 13. Now back in the game, he goes to the free throw line. Nice drive there from Dacunda. If he had finished that layup, could have been a big play for him. But a little bit too hard off the backboard. And Dacunda is at the free throw line. 2 shots coming his way. Dacunda misses the first. 1 of 2 on free throws so far in this game. Ochiaka is back in for Anabararte. Dacunda's second free throw is no good. So he missed them both. What could have been a 3-point play ends up as an empty possession. And Nadav Gurner sets up the Saints offense. E.J. Charles on the wing. Up top, Maxwell Topia. Here's Nadav Gurner. Carly, open 3. No good. Rebounded by Dacunda. St. Ambrose is hanging around here. They led early. St. Francis has led a little bit more often. Pass deflected by Ochiaka and picked off by Carly. Jake Carly streaks down the sideline. Back to Charles. E.J. Charles picks up his dribble, and his pass towards Casimir Ochiaka is kicked by Ignacio Dacunda. Darius Wright is back on the floor. Karen Farrell returns for St. Ambrose. Gurner to Charles, and E.J. Charles lays it in off the inbounds. 12 points for Charles. Perfect play, St. Francis. 7 points is their biggest lead yet. Jake Friel passes off to his left. Dacunda swung around to Friel. Into the paint. This is Steiner. Dacunda loses the handle, and the loose ball is picked up by Wright. Darius Wright wants to run. Rihanna Maxwell Topia along the baseline, loses the handle, but gets it back. That's actually Gurner who gets it back. Possession continues for St. Francis. Darius Wright sets up for 3. It's off the mark. Tough shooting night so far for Darius Wright. Dacunda is stripped by Wright. Tough shooting night, but good on defense. Darius Wright forces the steal. Here's Casimir Ochiaka for the Fighting Saints. Off to E.J. Charles. Back up top, Ochiaka. Up to the free throw line. He loses the ball, gets it back. Dribbles into the paint, flips it up with the right hand and misses. Fight for the rebound, knocked off of Wright, out of bounds. St. Ambrose ball. Some tussling going on down low on that play. No whistle anywhere. St. Ambrose gets the stop they need. And now the Fighting Bees will trying to put the ball back in the basket. It's been over 3 minutes since their last field goal. Spriggs crosses over, stripped. Gerner takes it away. Nadav Gerner up top to Ochiaka. Bounce to the cutting Maxwell Topia. In traffic, he misses off the backboard. And here come the Bees. Spriggs out in front of the pack. Has to haul that pass in with his tiptoes staying in bounds. Keeps it alive out to Friel. Jake Friel floats it up and in. There's the first bucket in about 3.5 minutes for St. Ambrose. It pulls them to within 5. And St. Francis calls timeout. Well, St. Ambrose has been struggling to score, but they've been able to stay in the game on the defensive end. And the Fighting Saints lead by just 5 with 3:43 to play in the first half. The Fighting Saints right now really scuffling shooting-wise. E.J. Charles and Aitor Anabararte have been sensational to start this game. 2 of them are a combined 8 of 8 from the field for 22 points. The rest of the team combined has just 8 points on 3 of 20 shooting. Anabararte has been on the bench the last several minutes. Let's see if Ryan Marks makes another move towards him late in the first half. He is on the floor coming out of this break. In fact, it looks like, I was going to say it's the 5 starters out there, but it isn't. Rehana Maxwell Topia remains in the game for St. Francis right now. Casimiro Chiaka is on the bench. This is Maxwell Topia, high post, bouncing it into the paint for Aitor Anabararte. He steps back and his jumper misses. First miss of the game for the junior center, Aitor Anabararte. He's 4 of 5 shooting, 10 points. Grant Mason dribbles inside the arc and back out. This is Tyson White along the baseline. White lays it in, and it's a 3-point game. Credit to St. Ambrose. They went 3.5 minutes without a field goal, but they didn't let St. Francis create any distance. It's a 1-possession game again. Gerner floats it out to Charles. Charles for 3. Off the back rim, no good. Rebound St. Ambrose. So now Charles has missed one as well. Both Anabararte and Charles started 4 of 4 and missed their 5th. Steiner for the tie, misses on the 3. And Nadav Gerner takes it the other way. Whistle down low, and this is a foul on Max Steiner. So that means Aitor Anabararte gets to shoot at least 1 free throw. Steiner commits the team's 8th foul, 2:22 to play in the half. Front end misses from Anabararte. St. Ambrose dodges a bullet. White. Nifty ball work. Passes back out to Steiner. Here's Friel. Jake Friel off to the wing. Steps into a 3-pointer and ties the score at 30. Jake Friel's got 5 points. Third made 3 of the game for St. Ambrose, but it's their first one in a while. St. Ambrose has shot the ball really well when they've gotten their shots off. Anabararte loses it out of bounds. He claims it was knocked out by Steiner. The official didn't see that. So at 30-30, St. Ambrose has the ball back. They can retake the lead here. It's been about 11 minutes of game time since St. Ambrose held the lead. Early in the game, though, it was common. Friel works to his left, picks up his dribble, looking for help. Finds White on the side. White makes his way inside the 3-point arc, passes to the top of the key. Friel for 3. Misses this one, and the rebound chased down by Ben Kreitz. So we remain tied here. St. Ambrose is not able to take the lead back. And now St. Francis can. Anaberarte into Darius Wright. Wright shovels it off to Kreitz on the layup. St. Francis does take the lead. 32-30 with a minute to play in the half. Friel around the screen, back to the top. Pass off the foot of Nadav Gerner. We'll add a few seconds back to the shot clock. Keep the ball in St. Ambrose's possession. Friel, guarded by Gerner. Up top, White. Tyson White drives around Charles, blocked from behind by Charles, but a foul is called. Looked like a good block for Charles, but I think he pushed a little bit with his offhand, not the hand that he blocked the shot with, but his left. And that's enough to send White to the line. White's first free throw is good. He hasn't missed from the line this year. 8 of 8. This would tie the score if he can make his 9th in a row to start this season. He cannot. For the first time this year, he has missed. Knocked out of bounds by Friel. Good anticipation by him, jumping in front of the pass. .36 seconds on the clock, 26 on the shot clock. Inbounded to Kreitz. Handoff Darius Wright. Wright, pull-up jumper, good. St. Ambrose can take the last shot of the half here. A three-pointer would tie the score. Farrell off the foot of E.J. Charles. They'll inbound from the sideline. White inbounds to Friel. And this time Friel will be given a little bit of space to dribble some time off the clock. He starts to make his way forward, 7 seconds. Gets a screen, passes to Farrell. In the corner, Grant Mason. Mason penetrates, Mason blocked and foul. Foul is called on Aitor Anaberarte. That's his second. And Mason gets 2 free throws with 1.3 on the clock. Grant Mason is a 68% free throw shooter. And he misses the first. St. Ambrose is just 4 of 9 as a team from the line this year, or this game. It would not be a lot of free throws for a full year. It'll be a tough season. It's been a tough season anyways. Mason misses the second. Anaberarte gets the rebound, and that'll do it for the first half. St. Ambrose had their chances from the line to take the lead late in the first half, but they missed a bunch of them. Just 4 of 10 shooting from the foul line for the game. And St. Francis does indeed carry a lead into halftime. 34-31 is our score. Back in 15 minutes, we'll have first half stats and second half action. St. Francis up narrowly at the break on the USF Sports Network. Halftime at the University of St. Francis, 34-31. The Saints have the lead over St. Ambrose. They seized the lead a little bit less than halfway into the first half and didn't give it up, but they didn't really pull away either. They led by as many as 7, and then the Bees made a little run late in the half to get back to within 3. In fact, St. Ambrose could have the lead right now, but they missed a whole bunch of free throws down the stretch. 4 of 10 from the foul line overall in the first half. Overall, though, they shot much better than the Saints did, 52% from the field. St. Francis just 41%, and most of that was from 2 guys, E.J. Charles and Aitor Anaberarte. Each went 4 of 5 shooting. So they were a combined 8 of 10. The rest of the team 5 for 22 from the field. Charles led the way with 12 points. Anaberarte had 10 and a team-leading 4 rebounds. Tough first half shooting for Darius Wright. He went 2 of 8, but he leads the team with 3 assists and 3 steals through 20 minutes of play. St. Ambrose is led by Ignacio Dacunda. He has 11 points so far. All of those came in the first 5 minutes, and then we didn't hear much from him the rest of the half. Jake Friel, 5 rebounds to lead his team so far. Big stat in the first half, turnovers, 10 for St. Ambrose, 4 for St. Francis. And that paid dividends for the Saints in that they were +9 in number of shots. However, they weren't scoring off of turnovers. St. Ambrose actually outscored St. Francis 5-4 off of turnovers in the first half, interestingly enough. We're underway in the second half. Starters back on the floor for both teams. Nadav Gerner holds the ball on the wing, fires inside to Aitor Anabadarte. One dribble, Anabadarte off the glass, misses. Rebound, Casimir Ochiaka. Ochiaka, second chance, no. St. Francis has 6 offensive rebounds in the game today. They outscored St. Ambrose on second chance points 8-0 in the first half. Had a chance to extend that advantage, but missed on the second chance moments ago. Dacunda misses the 3. Dacunda was so aggressive early in the first half, and then no shots for him in the last 15 minutes as E.J. Charles misses the little floater from close range. So both Charles and Anabadarte have missed their opening shots in the half as Spriggs misses the 3-pointer. Anabadarte and Charles began the game 8 for 8 combined. They are since a combined 0 for 4. Here's Anabadarte in the post against Dacunda. Dacunda is called for the foul, his second. Make that number 3 on Ignacio Dacunda. First foul of the half on either team. Gerner inbounds to Ochiaka. Ochiaka backs in, kicks it out to Anabadarte, winds up for 3 and misses it short. The rebound goes to Andrew Morrissey. Will Spriggs dribbles up to the top and passes back to Jake Friel. Around the screen, Friel gives it up to Max Steiner. 3-pointer is good. First points of the game for Max Steiner. And St. Ambrose has tied the score at 34. Fourth time we've been tied today. Max Steiner, I believe, is the man who composed the orchestral score for Gone with the Wind and King Kong, among other movies. 3-pointer good for E.J. Charles. A good answer. Saints are back in the lead. Just for the record, I don't think this is the same Max Steiner. You'd have to be 130 years old or so. Probably a different guy. I didn't look it up, though. Jake Friel gives it up to Morrissey. 3-pointer is short. Just 4 points so far for Morrissey. Came in averaging better than 13 per game. Nadav Gerner is fouled. That one is on Morrissey, and Gerner goes to the line for 2 shots. Gerner is scoreless so far in the game. He can change that right now. St. Francis's starting point guard is 12 of 19 from the free throw line this season. 3.5 point per game scorer who has his first point today. You'll be hard pressed to find any starter on any other team around who shoots as infrequently as Nadav Gerner does for the amount of minutes he plays. Not a lot of points scored. That's not his game. So he hits on the second free throw. 2 of 2 from the line there. St. Francis's lead is 5. St. Ambrose tied it at 34. The Fighting Saints have answered with 5 straight points. Grant Mason from the corner, short on the 3. Rebound Darius Wright. Here's E.J. Charles. Out to Darius Wright at half court. Ochiaka back to Wright. Darius Wright drives, bounces into Ochiaka, who can't finish, but he's fouled. Falling away from the basket there. Ochiaka a little out of position as he caught that ball. He wasn't rolling to the basket the way that Wright thought he would. But they were able to connect anyway, and Ochiaka is able to get to the line courtesy of Max Steiner's second foul. First free throw misses. Ochiaka, like Gerner, hasn't gotten to the line a lot this year. He has struggled when he's been there. He is 4 of 18 this year. Just a 22% free throw shooter. And he makes that one. Six-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Friel over to Spriggs. Spriggs gets the screen. Dribbles in from the top, pulls up for two, misses it short. Anabadarte grabs the board. Ahead for E.J. Charles, and Charles loses it out of bounds. Spriggs didn't touch it. B's ball. That turnover really began with the Aitor Anabadarte outlet pass, a little bit too far in front of Charles. He was able to track it down, but threw his rhythm off a little bit. Three-pointer rattles in for Karen Farrell. Farrell's got 5 points off the bench. And St. Ambrose is back to within a single score. Nadav Gerner, guarded by Friel. Throws it in to Anabadarte, a fake around Bourne, and he's fouled. It's number 3 on Austin Bourne. Actually, sorry, number 4 on Bourne. It's his 3rd minute and his 4th foul. So he has not had much of an impact on this game, other than helping St. Francis get to the line on a few occasions. Anabadarte loses it, gets it back off to Darius Wright. Here's Gerner. Fires outside. Charles for 3. Good. Nice setup. Charles caught that one and shot it in perfect rhythm to give St. Francis the 6-point lead. Their biggest has been 7. Friel outside to Spriggs. Will Spriggs puts it on the floor, spins into the paint, kicked outside. This is Farrell on the drive. Farrell blocked from behind by Anabadarte. Saints could go on a run here. Darius Wright steps back for 3. 2 in a row for St. Francis. And a whistle after the shot went in. We've got a foul on St. Ambrose in addition to the made three-pointer. Foul called down low on Karen Farrell. So again, the three-pointer counts. The foul was called after the shot went in. Farrell picks up his first foul, already the 5th on St. Ambrose. And the Saints can add to this possession. Already 3 points on the board. Just said they've got a chance to go on a run. This is already their biggest lead today. Ben Kreitz over to E.J. Charles. Charles works against Grant Mason. Pass deflected, tipped over to Aitor Anabadarte, and he's fouled by Mason. Number 6 on the Fighting Bees. Gerner inbounds to Ben Kreitz, who lays it in around the rim a couple of times, and it finally falls. That's a 5-point possession for St. Francis, and their lead is up to 11. Always tough. Doesn't happen often. But for an offense like St. Ambrose, as Spriggs misses the layup, have the ball down 6, and the next time you touch it down 11, it's a lob for E.J. Charles. It's over his hands and out of bounds. The Saints unsuccessful on the alley-oop, and Charles is given a technical for hanging on the rim. He stayed up there for a while. Usually you only see that technical foul given for a player hanging on the rim when the impression is that you might be showing up the opponent for hanging there too long after making a big dunk. You don't usually get that call after you missed a dunk. But Charles stayed up there a long time. The official was staring at him, I think waiting for him to get down, giving him the chance, and he just didn't come down. So Spriggs will get 2 free throws here, the first of which is good. Oh, he only gets the 1, sorry. So 1 point on the technical foul. And now St. Ambrose can inbound. Well, the Fighting Saints had a 5-point possession a few minutes ago. St Ambrose already playing with one free throw on this trip down the floor. Can make this a big possession as well. Here's Friel. Wanted the three. Anabararte closed out though. Spriggs works against Gerner. Creates a little space and is called for the travel. So the Bees do end up having to settle for just 1 point. Ibrahim Mobayed checks in for Aitor Anabararte. 14:24 to play. 10-point lead for St. Francis. They've turned up the offensive game after a slow start to the second half. They gave the number earlier. St. Ambrose has lost 3 games in a row, and they're giving up 91 points per game during that 3-game losing streak. So this is a struggling defense. Good pass to the cutting Darius Wright, and Wright is fouled by Spriggs. And Wright, as he fell down, came on top of Spriggs' ankle. So not only is Spriggs called for the foul, but he is banged up on the play. Just a really tough sequence for Will Spriggs. Then one hurts that's rolled right over his ankle. Spriggs is going to have to check out. Tyson White will come in here. Hopefully Spriggs is all right, as Darius Wright goes to the free throw line. St. Francis got off to a slow start to the second half offensively, but even in the first half, they didn't shoot the ball all that well. Held to 34 points, which is not a bad total, a little bit below their average. Darius Wright makes the first free throw, but certainly well below the average of St. Ambrose recent opponents. They're firing on all cylinders now, 50-38. St. Francis's lead, which was 3 at halftime, is up to 12. The Bees struck first here in the second half. They tied it at 34. Since then, though, 16-4, the Saints have outscored them. Friel at the top, guarded by Gerner. Steps inside the arc, right back out to Steiner, and the three-pointer is good. That's the second this half for Max Steiner, and a big one to pull St. Ambrose back to within single digits. Gerner over to Kreitz. Here's Darius Wright. Wright loses the ball, poked away, and tracked down by Farrell. One-on-one with Gerner, and Gerner is called for the foul. First foul of the half on St. Francis. The Fighting Saints are already in the bonus. And they just picked up their first foul. It was a shooting foul, so it'll send Karen Farrell to the line for 2. First foul on Gerner today. First free throw misses for Farrell. One more coming. Free throws continue to be a sore subject for St. Ambrose. They are 4 of 11 as a team from the line. Justin Phillips and Lewis McGlasson come in for St. Francis. Farrell makes his second shot. 8-point game. St. Ambrose has scored the last 4 to tighten it up a tad. Justin Phillips walks it off to his left. Shot clock is already down to 10. Saints haven't made a move yet on this possession. Kreitz on the outside, one step in, handoff to McGlasson. With the shot clock running low, McGlasson misses the 3. Rebound grabbed by Grant Mason. Fired ahead for Farrell. Down to the corner, Tyson White. Good defense by Mobayed to force him to dribble in instead of taking the shot. Now Mason drives and is called for the charge. Darius Wright takes the hit. And St. Ambrose, instead of getting those 2 points, turns it over. 8th foul called this half against the Fighting Bees. And Mason is whistled for his second. Here's Wright. Cross court to Kreitz, and a moving screen called against Ibrahim Mobayed. St. Francis turns it over on their second team foul. Second on Mobayed. Just about 12 minutes to play in this game. St. Ambrose can tighten it up considerably here. Down by 12 just a moment ago. Farrell travels. Dragged the back foot as he tried to pivot and turn around. And another St. Ambrose turnover. Phillips moves slowly down the floor, sets up the offense. Here's Darius Wright. Bounced in for Kreitz. Darius Wright, jumper is good. Wright was held to 4 points in the first half. He's got 7 so far in the second, and he becomes the third Fighting Saint in double figures. Mason, nice crossover, gets all the way in and draws the foul. Good drive from Grant Mason. He's got 2 free throws coming his way. It's the third on Mobayed. And Mason will try to turn around St. Ambrose's fortunes from the line. He himself is 0 of 2 so far today. And he makes this one. Aitor Anabararte is back in for St. Francis. Rihanna Maxwell Topia as well. With the starting forward Carter Fahey on the bench with the injury today, Ryan Marks has really filled in for him with a whole committee. Kazmir Ochiaka started, but we've seen a lot of Ben Kreitz, we've seen a lot of Ibrahim Mobayed, and we've seen a lot of Rihanna Maxwell Topia, who really hasn't played much at all in recent weeks, but he had some big minutes on Saturday after Fahey went out with his injury, and he's had some big minutes today with Fahey on the bench. 8-point game after Mason's 2 free throws. Right into Anabararte. Anabararte triple team, the ball knocked out of bounds by St. Ambrose. Maxwell Topia today has played 4 minutes. Kreitz has played 13. Mobayed 7. Kazmir Ochiaka started, and he's been out there for 14 minutes today. Anabararte puts it on the floor. Into the paint, up with the right hand, and rolls it in. Nice touch from Aitor Anabararte, who's got his first points of the second half. 12 now for the game. Ignacio Dacunda passes to his left. Javen Jones gives it to Grant Mason. Mason pull up from the free throw line, off the back rim, no good. Rebound Anabararte. That's his 8th rebound of the game. So he's closing in on another double-double. Rihanna Maxwell Topia with his back to the basket, gives it up top. It's Darius Wright. Wright drives to his left, and he's fouled. Max Steiner's 3rd foul. 2 shots for Darius Wright. The Saints will get 2 shots on each foul the rest of the way. Wright's first free throw rims out. He makes 1 of 2. The lead is up to 11, 55-44. Just about halfway through this second half. Javen Jones near the sideline, guarded by Phillips. Moves inwards and out to the wing to Friel. Friel thought about the 3. Everybody backs off, so he takes the 3 and misses just short. Rebounded by Darius Wright. Anabararte gets across half court. Phillips steps back, fires a three, and knocks it down. Justin Phillips hits his second three of the game. Phillips has 6 points and a foul before the shot on this end. 14 points, the lead just grows and grows for St. Francis. This is the biggest it's been. Rehana Maxwell-Topia called for the foul here. That's number 1 on him, number 4 on the team. St. Francis is already in the double bonus on their end. Javen Jones takes it inside the arc. Back out to Dacunda. Ignacio Dacunda blocked by Maxwell-Topia. Lewis McGlasson gives it up to Darius Wright. Bounced into the corner. Now back out McGlasson. Good drive. Lewis McGlasson. Offensive foul. Charge called against St. Francis. And the man who took that charge is still down underneath the hoop right now. Steiner getting looked at. He, I think, got a gash to the head. They're holding a towel to his forehead right now. So I don't know if that came on the impact with the collision or if it happened when he went down and hit the ground. So we'll have a slight pause here while they get him cleaned up. Hopefully he's all right and able to continue. It will be St. Ambrose ball thanks to Steiner taking that charge. 58-44, St. Francis's lead with exactly 9 minutes to play in this game. E.J. Charles is the game's leader with 18 points scored tonight. Aitor Anabadarte and Darius Wright are both in double figures as well with 12 points. Anabadarte closing in on a double-double. He's got 9 rebounds to go along with those 12 points scored. St. Francis was up 34-31 at halftime. Here in the second half, it's been all Saints. They are 7 of 12 shooting. The Bees are 3 for 13 from the field here in the second half. And so that's given St. Francis the opportunity to really pull away. Looking good as they fight for their 13th conference victory of the year. St. Francis will be playing in the conference tournament next week. St. Ambrose will not. Drive for Dacunda. He's bumped on the floor. Ignacio Dacunda got off to a huge start in this game. Scored 11 of St. Ambrose's first 13 points. Hasn't made a shot since then. He hasn't taken all that many. He's missed his last 2. But hasn't scored in over 25 minutes of game time. Friel passes off to Dacunda. Inside Morrissey. Morrissey backs in. And before he takes a shot, we've got a foul on the floor. Said before that Max Steiner was the guy who had taken the charge and then departed. There's actually Karen Farrell who got hurt on that play. So Farrell is the one who had to depart the game. Steiner is out there right now for St. Ambrose as Morrissey makes the first free throw. He'll get one more here. That was the 7th foul against St. Francis. So that puts St. Ambrose in the bonus. And the second shot falls for Morrissey. St. Ambrose trying to hang around here, down 58-46. They put on a full court press, looking to go on a real run. McGlasson gets it across the timeline to Anabadarte. Phillips fires over to McGlasson. McGlasson up top, Maxwell-Topia, shot clock running down. Maxwell-Topia's got to get the shot off, and he gets it in on the layup. Beautiful drive from Rehana Maxwell-Topia with the shot clock just about to expire. And he's got his first points tonight. Foul called on Aitor Anabadarte here. It'll send Andrew Morrissey right back to the line. These officials have gotten a little whistle happy here in the second half. The game has gotten more physical. We've already seen 17 fouls called in just 12 minutes. Morrissey makes the first free throw. Free throws were a big problem for St Ambrose in the first half. They've been much better here in the second. They've gone 7 for 8 from the line. In fact, they've made 7 in a row. The last 3 from Morrissey, and these last 2 trips have both been 1-and-1s, so making the first has been critical. Carly and Charles come in for the Saints. Second shot for Morrissey is good. Saints look to break the press, and they get it across half court. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia bides his time, letting the offense get set. Now E.J. Charles at the top of the star. Over to Carly. Charles on the wing, steps in, 2-point jumper, short. Rebounded by Friel. Jake Friel fires down low. Morrissey's been good lately. He's got the last 6 points for St. Ambrose, and he pulls his team to within 10 as Ryan Marks calls timeout. 7:17 to play. St. Francis 60, St. Ambrose 50. A lot of basketball still to be played here. St. Ambrose still very much alive in this game. And they've been able to pull a little bit closer thanks to Andrew Morrissey, who had just 4 points, and now all of a sudden has 10. He scored the last 6 over a little over a minute of game action and helped St. Ambrose get back in it. St. Francis has kind of felt in control throughout this second half. Ever since they broke that 34-34 tie and started to pull away, St. Ambrose has never really felt in it, but they have been. It's been a single-digit game most of the way. It's at 10 right now. It's one of those games where if you're a St. Francis supporter, you probably feel a little bit more comfortable than you really should, just the way this game has progressed. St. Ambrose is a couple of big shots from getting right back in it. But St. Francis is a few big offensive plays from building that confidence way up. However, they turned it over here. Phillips was looking for Ochiaka. Got the pass in a little bit too low. Ochiaka takes it away from Morrissey. So he turns it over on one end, takes it right back on the other. And now Ochiaka gets across half court. Dakunda may have gotten away with the reach-in foul. St. Francis sets up their offense. Phillips from the corner. Unsuccessful on the 3. He had been a perfect 2 of 2. Friel to the top, loses the ball, gets it back, and fires off to Will Spriggs. Spriggs drives, jump stop, jumper short. And a foul called on Morrissey. They'll go down the other way. Possession had already ended for St. Ambrose before that foul was committed. In fact, Anabadarte had already pulled in the rebound before he was fouled. So that's the 10th rebound for Aitor Anabadarte. He's got himself a double-double. Ochiaka actually was the guy who was fouled. Second trip to the line for him today. He made 1 of 2 his first time to the line. Remember, he's shooting just over 20% on free throws for the season. But he's hit 2 in a row here. He had only made 4 free throws all year. And now he's 2 for his last 2. Maybe he's starting to get into a rhythm now that he's had a few more trips today than he's accustomed to. He makes 1 of 2 once again. Dakunda loses the ball, and Ochiaka just barely keeps it in. Could have let that ball go out of bounds. It would have been St. Francis possession. Nearly lost it, but no harm, no foul. It is kept alive. Carly up top to Ochiaka. Now here's Nadav Gurner. Down low, Anabadarte up with the right hand and in. 14 points for Aitor Anabadarte. Saints once again are starting to create that separation. The lead is back up to 13. Steiner tries to make it 11, but misses on the jumper. Offensive rebound chased down by Dacunda. Dacunda spins into the lane. A little out of control that time as he misses, and the Saints carry it the other direction. Bounce pass ahead to Jake Carley from Charles. Carley gives it up to Anabadarte, who's fouled. I think Anabadarte might have preferred that foul not been called, because he ended up getting his own rebound with nobody in front of him. It would have been an easy 2 points. Now he'll have to get those two from the free throw line instead. It's the fourth foul on Max Steiner. St Ambrose a little bit short in the front court right now. Steiner's got 4 fouls. Austin Bourne has 4 fouls. Karen Farrell had to leave after a collision a little bit earlier. Nathan Moeller will come in for now. Steiner heads to the bench. If Anabadarte made this free throw, it would be the biggest lead of the game for St. Francis. And that's exactly the situation we're looking at. 65-50. Saints lead with just over 5 minutes to go. Friel steps into a 3. Short, offensive rebound. Morrissey surrounded by white shirts, and it's knocked away by Nadav Gerner, who keeps it in bounds. Well played by Gerner. Charles, offensive foul. Dacunda took the charge, and St. Francis turns it over. St. Ambrose calls timeout. 5 minutes to play. They trail by 15. Foul on E.J. Charles was his 3rd. 9th on the team, so St. Ambrose committed 7 fouls before St. Francis had a single one this half. But they've caught up. Both teams now are in the double bonus for the final 5 minutes. And that's big for the Bees, because that may be the only way that they can get back into this game. They have struggled in all facets offensively here in this second half. They've turned it over 8 times. Check that, they've turned it over 6 times. That hasn't been a terrible stat for them. Still a little bit more than they'd like, but the real problem has been shooting. They're just 4 for 18, 22% shooting from the field in the second half after they went 52% in the first half. St. Francis, on the other hand, well over 50% for the second half after they had some trouble shooting over the first 20 minutes, and the Saints have pulled away. They led by 3 at the break. It's up to 15 now. And they could put this game away very quickly with a little bit of good defense. St. Ambrose back on the floor coming out of the timeout. That was the first timeout called by St. Ambrose in this game. Been kind of a free-flowing game. I guess just in terms of the timeouts, not a lot of stoppages. The game's been stopped a lot by foul calls, but not by the coaches. Moeller drives. That one, I believe, was blocked off the glass. And St. Francis does get their first defensive stop out of that timeout. Darius Wright pulls it back outside. Saints wouldn't mind running a little bit of clock here. We're late enough in the game with this size lead. They just would like to limit the number of possessions that St. Ambrose gets. Anabadarte in for Ochiaka, and he's fouled. It'll be number 4 on Dacunda. And he becomes the 3rd Fighting Bee to pick up his 4th foul. So Ochiaka is right back to the line. He was attempting, on average, less than a free throw per game this season coming in. That was his 5th today. He'll get 1 more. He is 2 of 5 from the line, which is significantly higher than his season percentage, but he'd like to make this one. Get him back to 50% for the game. He banks it in. Might have been his worst looking free throw of the game. Might have got the result that he was looking for. 3 points from Ochiaka, all from the line. Friel's pass deflected by Nadav Gerner. Now the ball loose on the floor. Picked up by Spriggs ahead for Friel, who lays it in. Saints moved a little bit too quickly for their own good there. Got the steal, coughed it right back up, and it led to some quick points for St Ambrose. That ball is kicked by Ignacio Dacunda. Four minutes to play. Commanding lead right now for St. Francis. E.J. Charles passes off to Aitor Anabararte. Fighting Saints are playing without their second leading scorer with Carter Fahey out. They've managed all right in his absence as Anabararte is blocked by Moeller. They'll get Indiana Northwest on Saturday to close up the regular season. If they're able to finish this game off, it'll be their fourth consecutive win. Good move by Morrissey down low. He pulls his team within 12. Timeout called. Or no timeout. We got a foul. St. Ambrose thought that they had called the timeout. I thought that was the signal as well. The whistle was not to indicate a foul either. He's pulling Nadav Gerner out of the game. I think Gerner maybe has a cut on his leg. Yeah, it looks like there's a little spot of blood on his knee pad. It's not a pad, but you get the idea. He is bleeding around his knee. He has to leave. You cannot have an open cut and be on the floor. So if they can get that cleaned up very quickly, he can come back in, but it's going to take a little bit too long. So Justin Phillips will return to action here. 3:18 on the clock. St. Francis has been in control of this one for a while. Haven't been able to put it away, though, as it's been about 3 minutes since they scored from the field. Darius Wright down to E.J. Charles. And of course, at this stage of the game, if they can use up 20 to 25 seconds and then score, that's a perfect possession. But even if they're not scoring, as they haven't been the last few trips, they're running clock and making it considerably harder for St. Ambrose. Ochiaka's going back to the line. He's been very aggressive in getting himself to the basket lately. Hasn't been able to finish anything from the field, but this is his fourth trip to the free throw line. He's made one of two each trip so far. Ochiaka misses short on his first shot here. And as usual, 1 for 2. He's done that 4 times today now. He's got 4 points. St. Francis has a 13-point lead. Will Spriggs inside the three-point arc, cuts down the lane, scoops it up and misses. Rebound Anabararte. Darius Wright gets across half court. Pulls it back outside, and Justin Phillips tries to run some clocks. The defense closes in. Gives it to Darius Wright. Right back to Phillips. Half the shot clock is gone as Phillips drives, kicks into the corner. Three-pointer for Charles is good. That might do it for St. Ambrose. A big nail in the coffin. They try to answer with a quick three. Friel misses, and Anabararte grabs another rebound. Final 2 minutes here. St. Francis has the 16-point lead as Phillips shovels it down low to Anabararte. He's blocked by Moeller. Charles grabs it. E.J. Charles fights it up and misses. St. Ambrose ball. 21 points tonight for E.J. Charles to lead all scorers. Dacunda misses the three. He still hasn't scored since those first 11. Anabararte grabs the rebound from Ochiaka. And a foul called on Dacunda. That'll be it for him. Number 5. Ignacio Dacunda scored 11 of his team's first 13 points and then did not score the rest of the night. So he leaves the game. He's replaced by Grant Mason for the final 92 seconds, and Justin Phillips goes to the line for 2 shots. Phillips misses on the first. Second shot makes it a 17-point St. Francis lead. 71-54. St. Francis on the verge of their fourth consecutive win. Moeller fires a three and misses it. Tip from Morrissey is good, and a foul. St. Ambrose staring down their fourth consecutive loss. It'd be their 12th in the last 13 games if they can't pull off the miracle here. Casimir Ochiaka called for his second foul, and Morrissey will get a free throw here after a nice little tip-in following the missed three-pointer. Morrissey can make it a three-point play anyway, and he does. 15 points for Morrissey to lead the Bees. Aitor Anabararte is fouled by Grant Mason, and he'll go to the line. Number 3 on Mason, 2 foul shots for Anabararte. 16 points, 13 rebounds tonight for Anabararte. And he hits his first of 2 foul shots. He's 5 of 6 from the line in this game. Makes them both. 16-point game. We approach the final minute. Friel drives, spins off the left foot, knocks it down. Good shot from Jake Friel. Aitor Anabararte is able to get it across the timeline as the Fighting Saints beat the press. Anabararte runs some clock here. Morrissey backs off to give him some space. Anabararte starts to make his move. He hands it off to E.J. Charles. Charles back to Anabararte. Fires it down low. Ochiaka up with the right. No good. Rebound Spriggs. Final possession most likely here for Spriggs and company. Spriggs misses the runner. Rebound Ochiaka. And no, St. Ambrose wants to extend the game by fouling. So they'd like to get at least one more shot off. They didn't want to see St. Francis dribble out the clock. And Casimir Ochiaka is going back to the line on the other end. Ochiaka 4 of 8. This is his 5th trip to the line. He's made 1 of 2 shots in each of his first 4 trips. He misses the first one here, so you can bet money on him making the second. That's the way it's gone so far. Aitor Anabararte checks out. Good stat line for him tonight. 18 points on 6 of 11 shooting, 13 rebounds. Brianna Maxwell-Topia comes in, and Lewis McGlasson comes on for E.J. Charles. Great night for Charles. 21 points, 5 of 6 from three-point range for Charles tonight. Ochiaka missed them both this time. Made a liar out of me. Here's Friel. Friel drives, and he's fouled by Jake Carley. So Jake Friel heads to the free throw line. Friel can put himself in double digits here. He's got 9 points for the game. First free throw attempt of the game for Friel. And that is point number 10 for him. He is 18 of 21 from the line so far this year. Tyler Irvin comes on late in this one for St. Francis. Good game today for Casimir Ochiaka, who checks out. Second free throw is good from Friel. 73-61. We'll see if this is the final score or if St. Ambrose elects to foul again. It looks like 73-61 will be the total in this one. St. Francis picks up their 4th consecutive win. And they had a good run late in the season of home games. They took advantage of it. 4 straight home games, all of them victories, and all of them by at least 7 points, which has been uncharacteristic of this team all year. They have played nothing but nail-biters at home, but they get to head out onto the road after their last 2 home games were both double-digit victories against East-West University on Saturday and against St. Ambrose University here today. So a fond farewell to the Sullivan Center for this season as the Fighting Saints do indeed win their final 4 home games. They will head out onto the road and finish the regular season against Indiana Northwest on Saturday. The Fighting Saints will be playing in the CCAC tournament, but they are currently number 5 in the conference, so they will start that conference tournament on the road next week. And you can get updates on that tournament through GoFightingSaints.com to see who they'll be playing, where they'll be playing, when they'll be playing, as they try to march on to a conference tournament championship. They pulled it off a few years ago as an 8 seed. They've already beaten some of the top teams in the conference this year, so don't put it past them to make a run in the CCAC tournament, even if they do start out as a lower seed. St. Francis today gets the victory by a final score of 73-61. Leading scorer E.J. Charles with 21 points. Aitor Anabadarte had a double-double with 18 points, 13 rebounds. St. Ambrose was led by Morrissey, who had 15 and 9 rebounds in today's game. They got 11 apiece from Friel and Dacunda. St. Francis had a double-digit scoring effort from Darius Wright, who scored 12 points tonight. St. Francis victorious for the 4th consecutive game. They improved their overall record to 15-10, now 13-6 against CCAC opponents. That'll do it for today's broadcast and for the season's worth of broadcasts of St. Francis men's basketball. Thanks for tuning in throughout the year. We will have St. Francis women's basketball on the air for you next week. That'll do it for the men's season. As I said, you can follow the rest of their exploits this year through the website GoFightingSaints.com as they try to make a run through postseason play. They wrap this one up with a 12-point victory, and that's all from Joliet tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, it's Terry Bonadonna here signing off from the University of St. Francis. Have a good night.